Hello everyone. 2 days by now you will be entering into the exam hall for your prelims 2023 and you have spent 1 year for this. Now before going into this exam, I wish to emphasize on certain things. You might be going through an overwhelming stage of fear right now. You'll be panicking, you'll be stressing a lot, you'll be having doubts as to whether you have to write this examination, whether you'll be able to recollect all the things that you have read. But trust me, you're not alone in this journey. Everyone who is part of this UPSC preparation will have such doubts. We need to overcome them. For example, just 2 days before we had the UPSC results, the one who got the All India rank 1 also on the day of prelims would have had this doubt. And therefore, never panic, never let this fear overwhelm you. You should have a very clear mind when you enter into this examination hall. So one thing that I want to stress is that when you go into the exam hall, whatever be the situations, whatever be the circumstances, understand that you should never lose your sense of confidence, because when you panic, you automatically lose certain marks. In my own experience, I can share that in one of the prelims, I had prepared a lot. I was going with confidence, but entering into the exam hall, looking at the toughness of that paper, somewhere I lost my composure and I ended up losing my prelims cutoff by 1.33 marks. And therefore, from that was a very tough lesson for me that I should always maintain my calm inside the exam hall. With this note, let me give the final tips when it comes to the examination. For, let's say, for general studies paper 1, when you go into the exam hall, maybe in your mock tests you could have getting some low scores, you could have attended less amount of questions, but in the exam hall you need to have certain things very clear in mind. Understand that if you need to get the cutoff, you need to attend at least some minimum amount of questions. What is that number? That number varies. It could vary from 80, it could vary from 90. There is no such golden number, but if you are writing very less, that is below 70, if you are attempting, then it is very, very tough to have that level of accuracy to clear the cutoff. And therefore, you need to take some risk. You need to have that appetite to take that risk in the exam hall. So whatever be the difficulty levels, make a realistic assessment about the toughness of that questions and accordingly try to maximize the number of questions that you attempt. But this should not be a hard and fast rule. For example, in my own case, I'm sharing my experience that in that year when I did not clear my prelims, the previous year I was able to write 90 plus questions. So that was my number. I always used to attend 90 plus questions. In that particular year when I missed out on the prelims, I was only able to attend 75 in my round. And I lost my composure. I panicked that I could not push that boundary. And without any application of mine, I started to make wild guesses in certain questions. I attempted 9 questions just to mechanically increase my number of questions. I increased my number of questions, but nevertheless, what happened was 9 questions that I guessed, 8 went wrong. I lost my cutoff by 1.33, which means even if I had not attempted that questions, I would have been safe. And therefore, do not have this as a hard and fast rule. You should know what is the toughness of that exam. In the exam hall, you should have that thick skull to make a realistic assessment of that paper. You look at the surroundings, you look at people, you look at the question paper. Be real, be rooted down. Do not let any sense of panic overwhelm you. Okay, so number of questions. I want to say that be cautious about the number of questions and don't be too conservative in that. Take some risk. It's always essential. Clear? Second, coming to CSAT. CSAT in the last 2 years, you could find that even the cutoff has come down. It is mainly because those who have cleared the GS1 cutoff have failed in CSAT, have not even qualified in CSAT. And therefore, it's a very crucial paper which decides your entry into mains. What you should do, in the conversation that I've had with students recently, they are not able to increase the number of questions. And therefore, as a rule, I would say that maybe it is not true for GS1 to fix a number, but when it comes to CSAT, always push yourself, challenge yourself to go to that 50 question mark at least. How will you reach that 50 question mark? First of all, I'm giving you my strategy. I would always attend English. English comprehension, in the first 40-45 minutes, I will read all the passages. I will read once only, and immediately upon comprehending, I will mark the answer. Only if there is conflicts, I will read. And therefore, avoid reading the passages once, twice, or thrice. You need not be so steady because it will consume your time. After this 45 minutes, in the remaining 1 hour 15 minutes, try to manage at least 25 questions. Push for that. It is realistic. You can attend 12 quants and 12 reasoning. Minimum you can do. So if you follow this strategy, it is likely that you can push the number of attempts. Only if you push your number of attempts towards that golden mark of 50, you need not be stressed about your CSAT scores. So with that note, I want to leave it to you that you have done well. Believe that you have done well. Okay, never let fear overwhelm you. Do not push the panic button any point of time. Maybe in the exam hall, there could be some fuss happening. For example, in some halls, the examiner will not be giving the paper on time. Do not fret about it. Do not shout at them. You just go, keep yourself calm and attend the questions with ease. Look at every question one at a time. You might have certain questions which are so difficult in the first part of your question paper, but if you panic at the very start, you may not be able to attend the remaining 80, which might be easy. Okay, so bear this in mind. You have put the effort, you have put the hard work needed for this exam. All are with you. We have the prayers, we have the guidance, you have your friends, you have the support of everyone. Look at the positives. You have to challenge yourself and you have to be happy. You have to go into the exam hall with a positive frame of mind. Good luck for all of you. I hope that you've come out with flying colors.